everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Lan here, and today's videos I'm going to show you how I propagate some of the plants I have on hand. As you know me, I usually start everything from seeds because I have like a vault of seeds. Anyhow, sometimes it's just better to propagate from the plant itself, cut a branch and then try to grow the roots. I'm going to show you how I propagate plants using hydroponic system. Specifically, I'm going to use the Aerogarden Bounty today. Let's get started. These are the branches that I cut from the plants in my soil pot. I keep these inside during the winter time and then take them out once the spring comes. Here in the mix are 3 different plants: English ivy, rosemary, and Vietnamese coriander. It's a type of herbs that's very popular in Vietnamese cuisine. Let's start with the ivy. I bought this plant from Home Depot last year. Make sure you cut a long enough vine so that there's enough room to grow the roots from. Each of the node right here is where roots will grow from. A node is where the leaves grow out from, and potentially each of the node is where the roots will develop. I'm removing the leaves so that I can submerge it into water later. I usually prefer 2 to 3 nodes for the purpose of the roots, so I'm gonna make a cut right here. This is gonna be a new plant. Now you just have to repeat the process for the rest. Make sure you leave at least 2 sets of leaves for each branch. Do not just remove all the leaves, okay? This should be good. Now that we are done with the ivy, let's move on to the rosemary. Same thing, I'm going to remove those leaves and save some on the top, and the rest we're going to submerge into the water. The rosemary smells so amazing. And that's done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Vietnamese coriander, origin grocery store. Years ago, I propagated this from the leftover, so I never have to buy this again. I'm just repeating the process that I did with the ivy and the rosemary. Okay, so you can stick these into a glass of water. Change the water every day. After 10 days or so, you should see roots coming out. For me, I have goldfish memory. I usually stick them into a glass of water and then totally forget about it. 5 or 6 days later, I find rotten plants. Not good. So my foolproof way of doing this is to put in a hydroponic system with some water movement. I'm reusing the pots from Aerogarden. These are the ones that never sprouted, or I took it out because I didn't like their seed, especially the chives. It's very useless. Anyhow, you can also buy these empty cage online. It's cheaper on Amazon than ordering from Aerogarden itself. I just stick these branches inside the cage. You can also wrap the sponge or some other grow medium around it before you put in this cage, but I find it not necessary. Why waste a sponge when you don't have to? I'm starting a new garden right here. Just some Thai basil. I just started the seedlings today, so there's no nutrient in the water yet. I don't add nutrients until 10 days later. You should see some sign of roots growing in 4 days. This is on day 13. Very nice, long, healthy roots. And here is the pot of ivy. This should be ready to be transplanted either into soil or into other hydroponic system. I'm going to show you how I fill fit this into the Gardyn and the iHarvest. Here's the rosemary. You know, rosemary is notoriously known for being hard to grow from seedlings because it can take up to 20 to 30 days, or they don't even sprout at all. So I think for rosemary, it's best to just propagate them. One of the Gardyn system is being used for flowers. I think it would be nice to add some ivy in here. There's a spot open for it to call home. On a side note, when I'm not using a pot, I turn the cup over like this and then cover it with a clone collar. That should prevent the algae from growing. Let's put the ivy in here. I just simply remove the ivy from Aerogarden pot because the roots are still short enough to be removed without damaging them. In order to secure the top of the pot, I'm using the clone collar to secure them. Because the stalk of the ivy is pretty thin, so I don't need to do much modification. I highly recommend you hydroponic grower use the clone collar for your system. It's very versatile. There you have it. The roots is submerged into the cup so that when the water runs, it contains nutrient inside, and on top, your plants is secure. I also have a pot of chrysanthemum in here that I started from Aerogarden. Let me show you how I did it. I cut the clone collar to contour to the Aerogarden pot, and then I'll just stick the whole thing inside the cup. I really like this Gardyn system. You can find a comparison video that I did several weeks ago among all the systems that I own. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box. I'm also starting flowers in the iHarvest, so I'm moving the ivy and the rosemary here, for the time being of course. I can always move around. That's the beauty of hydroponic. Again, just using the cloning collar to secure the plants, and this fit nicely in this 2-inch net cup. If you want to fit the whole Aerogarden pot into the iHarvest, it's a bit trickier but doable because the Aerogarden pot is much longer than the height of the 2-inch net cup. What I did is just cutting the bottom of the net cup so that it can fit through, and then you use the cloning collar to wrap around the Aerogarden pot and fit in. It takes a bit of time but very doable. There you have it. I hope this video is helpful, and please don't forget to subscribe for future content. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!